Hey there, Fab folks. Welcome back to Dice Commando and Go Again, a fabulous cast. Tonight I'm here with Matthew Fritz, who's been killing our locals with his Dash Boost deck. So we're going to be rolling through that as well as some strategy chat with him this evening.
A huge shout out to our channel members for supporting what we do here. If you want to get involved with the channel and the Dice Commando community, please consider joining as a channel member. Remember, these videos are only possible with your support. You can show that support with a like, a subscribe, and by leaving us a comment and sharing your feedback. Community first, and go Commando.
Hey folks, welcome back. Thanks for checking in this evening. How you doing, my friend?
I'm doing well.
Great. So we're here at Gongai Games. We just got done running our Armory Blitz, the last one for 2021, believe it or not, and promos and foilies were flying everywhere, kind of emptying out the vault, so it was a good time. So this man took it down tonight, and not only that, it's kind of funny because you took it down tonight, but I'd actually asked you before tonight to run through this deck. So there you go. It was foreboding. So how are you doing? Let us know. Tell us about yourself.
Yeah, so I've been playing TCGs my whole life. It started back with the OG Pokemon, Kraken Pats. Then from there I transitioned to Yu-Gi-Oh! With the original structure deck, so I was all about as Pegasus and his thing, and then I graduated to Magic. Then college and school happened, so I took a sabbatical, so to speak, and then school was done, so I came back to TCGs and right around the start of the Monarch meta. And just fell in love with Fab. I had a couple of other projects going on in games that I was playing, but yeah, just fell in love with Fab, the gameplay, the strategy, and have been here since.
Yep. Started with Levia.
Yeah, I started with Levia. That was
You're pretty good with her. You're pretty good with her.
I don't learn like a normal person. I'll put that out there for the people who are taking my feedback. So learning the game through her was very sobering, but it was a good experience. Yeah.
Fair enough. So what we're going to do tonight is we're going to go through his Dash Boost Blitz list. Now, you have made some recent changes like in the last 2 weeks to it. So we'll describe that first, but we'll point out the changes as we go through. And the reason part of this is important is because sans the changes he made tonight, it's like a $20 deck, right? Like if that even, maybe.
Yeah.
So, all right, so the list as it exists tonight, we'll go through the reds, then the yellows, and the blues. The list is one combustible courier, 2 high-speed impacts, 2 high octanes, 1 hyperdriver, 2 locked and loadeds, 2 max velocities, 2 overloops, 2 throttles, 2 zeros, and 2 zippers. For yellow, we have 2 overloops, 1 overblast, 2 throttles, 2 0 to 60s, and 2 zipper hits. You'll see a theme on the zipper hits, the 0 to 60s. 2 combustible couriers on the blue, 2 high-speed impacts, 2 overblast, 1 blue pedal, 2 throttles, 2 zeros, and 2 zippers. For his suite, we have the pistol, no shotgun, he's running pistol. We have the Achilles accelerator, the skull cap. No, you do not have the skull cap.
I do not have the skull cap, no.
That's a typo that I will fix. Sorry about that. No skull cap.
Just Iron Rot or Iron Hide.
Iron Rot and Iron Hide. Okay, perfect. Yeah. Goliath Gauntlet, the Teklo Heart, and then Vest of the First Fist. Sorry about that typo. Like I said, I will get that fixed. So talk us through how this, what's the basics, right? For someone tuning in who has no idea, talk us through the basic strategy. What's the plan?
So the plan is just boost to the face, pretty much, and how the equipment works into that.
So there's no induction chamber in here.
Right.
I heard I was supposed to play induction chamber with the pistol. How's that work?
So usually how the turn will start, I think you just get more mileage out of the hyperdriver. And it has more synergy with the Teklo Foundry. So say you play...
So for those at home, what does the hyperdriver do?
Oh, so the hyperdriver has a once per turn effect that whenever you boost, you gain a resource and it enters the arena with 3 steam counters on it. So you boost, you take down hyperdriver, you gain a resource, and then you can feed that to the Teklo Foundry Heart to get 2 more.
Right.
Or you can use that for your next play. So For example, I had some big on hit effects coming tonight, so I just played a 0 to 60, tipped this down, and then I could zipper hit. And then there's 9 damage, and I didn't pitch anything because of the Hyperdriver.
Yeah, very nice.
So I like Hyperdriver because this is just a full on aggro deck. I'm not interested in like blocking and pitching and just pistol. It's just boost to the face and hope that you keep ripping cards out of their hands and going over the top before you deck yourself out.
And you basically have 3 turns then to get it done before your Hyperdriver is exhausted, right?
Right.
Yep.
And then you still have a couple of other tricks up your sleeve. So if you are running the Tetlo Foundry Heart, you can pitch to that after you boost and get 2 resources. I also run the Vest of the First Fist. This is...
So you ran against my Azalea, actually.
Right, and I went with this over the cross strap because of Oldhim. So when you pop the cross strap, I feel like you would tell the Oldhim player, like, hey, I'm going to play something big. And then they're going to pitch an ice card. Then you have to put that on the top of your deck. And then your cross strap is wasted. Here, you have the 2 resources, so you can still pistol if you pop the boots. Or you can just play something... that's the idea of Vest of the First Fist over...
makes sense.
Over Heart and Cross Strap, and I think without that, it's really hard to get your maximum velocity off. Yes, and without, So if I'm not playing this, if I'm playing the Tetlo, unless I high roll 3 0 to 60s with the Hyperdriver up, I'm not looking actively, arsenaling and sitting on a maximum velocity. I'm happy to block with it, or like in the Prism matchup, it's Herald fodder. So the Vest of the First Fist combos with that nicely because you pitch a blue, you play 0 to 60 and 2 1-drops, and that's taken care of. Any of those hit, you pop this, and then you play your maximum velocity. So this is here for like the race matchups, hoping you can hit, or worst case scenario, you can just pop it and pistol.
Yeah, and I did notice that playing against you that typically you prefer to go into a turn with your pistol charged if you can, right?
Yeah. So I think on average with this deck, you attack with pistol twice a game. So usually the first depending on what you draw, right?
But you're basing that off of a 4 to 5 turn game, is what you're saying?
Yeah, I don't think if it goes past 5 turns, it's not good for this deck because you're gonna boost yourself. That's why the overloops are nice. But yeah, as far as the equipment goes, this is just extra. This is just fuel over 3 turns, and I don't think any of the games went past 4 tonight.
Fair enough. I think our Ranger turn might have, but that's because I kept sticking the on hit effects. But yeah, we'll have to go back and see. Okay, awesome. So talk to me, one of the things we promised was we'd go through and talk about the recent changes you made. So let's actually back out the recent changes you made, and let's talk about what you used to run on of the budget version, right? So before you picked up that nice shiny heart, before you added the max velocities, what were the 3 cards you were running?
Right, yeah. So before I ran...
Well, we already talked about Fist, I guess.
Talked about the Fist, yeah. So before the High Octanes and the... that was the only, Majestic or above rare that I added. I was running 1 Optical Monocle, and I was running 2 yellow Pedal to the Metals.
Okay.
Which were kind of... they were awkward. They boosted. They checked a lot of boxes, but they're just a yellow 4. Just kind of felt bad. And then the Optical Monocle went, and so those. Sorry.
And another thing you said you added was the 2 copies of Red Locked and Loaded.
Yes. Yeah. So
that's what we dropped from Blue, right? Is we dropped the
Monocle,
the Locked and Loadeds, and the Monocle, and we moved those up. So you swapped out. You said the Pedal to the Metals,
yellow, yeah.
And then there was one other change that you made.
It was, so those 2 would account for the High Octanes, and then the Monocle and the blue locked and loaded were converted to red locked and loaded.
Oh, that's right, because you had high octanes there too. That's
yeah.
right. So max velocity and high octanes.
Yeah,
Perfect. Now we're counted.
I didn't honestly hate the monocle because you are boosting a lot and you don't want to boost away your reds. So you don't want to like boost and then you hit like all your 0 to 60s or red throttles or your max velocity if you're setting up for that. So the monocle was nice to make sure it's like, okay, I'll turn this down until I hit like a yellow overblast, which is, it doesn't have go again, doesn't boost. And if you do anything in between, like pop the gauntlets, you break the combat chain and its effect is lost. So, optical monocle is nice for digging for boost fodder, but it doesn't block, which is awkward. And you're going so fast, you really don't have time. You don't want to take a turn off. You want to keep that pressure on, and you don't want to, instead of pistoling, put the monocle into play. So
Gotcha.
I think
Gotcha.
Yeah, if you were to go heavier on the items, I would have kept it, but no, this is just straight boost to the face.
Okay, great.
Yep.
So if somebody's watching right now, they're like, hey, this is awesome. I can build this for $20-$30.
Yep.
Let's get this done. What's your kind of play strategy advice from like a, entry to, what are your first 3 turns look like?
Yeah, so if I'm going, you want to definitely go second whenever you win the roll, for sure. If you go first, usually just involves pitching the pistol and arsenaling, and then just hoping they don't hit you too much. If you go second, then usually the first turn starts with a pitch to pistol, boost, hyperdriver, and then you just go for as long as you can. I'm not actively looking to set up an arsenal unless unless I know for sure I'll be able to play it. So I think one trap that you can definitely fall into in this deck, and I did playtesting early, is arsenaling that maximum velocity. It's a hard card to get off, so I would rather arsenal like a 0 to 60, a 0 cost that boosts. That would
interesting.
Something that would feed towards that combo.
But you said you're not arsenaling a lot, so is the threat of it is jamming up your arsenal, or is it?
Yeah, maximum velocity will definitely jam up your arsenal.
I see.
You can use it to bait a CNC, I guess, if that, because that's all they can do on that turn. You just let the sits damage through, that blows up, and then you just dump your hand on them. But yeah, so the first few turns is just you're just trying to maximize the hyperdriver as much as possible. So it's just pitch the pistol if you have the pitch, and then boost. Come in with the pistol. Yep.
Okay.
On the high
and we have. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, so that's if you do decide to pick up the high octane, that's I think in the last game, not the one that we played, but the one before, that's how I won. So it was a high octane turn. I boosted twice. I had 3 action points in the blue, so I was able to pistol at the end there for sits.
I see.
Yeah, so but to answer your question, it's just you want to maximize hyperdriver. So you want to push as much damage as possible while this is up, and you have that free resource every turn.
Makes sense. So looking at your list that we're showing, so there's 13 blues, so it's roughly a third of the deck ish is blues. Is that about the right ratio that you need? Do you ever find yourself short, higher? Would you like to go higher? Or?
If anything, I might remove some. This deck isn't starved for pitch. I might take 1 out. I think 12 is enough. But I haven't decided what to add. I haven't found myself, especially while hyperdriver's up, starved for pitch. The only time you'll feel like you don't have enough pitch is when you have max velocity, but I would rather just pitch that to the Tetlo, to pistol than to try and like hold on to it for turn after turn.
Gotcha.
Kind of my rule with max velocity is if I don't get it off by the second hyperdriver turn, I'm either gonna block with it or pitch it. It's not something I'm looking to. There's really no hope if you're going Tetlo. If you're going Vest, though, you might hold on to a little bit longer, but yeah, that's the strategy there.
Okay. And last question. So if you are going Vest over Tetlo, you're trying to set that up with like a full 5 card, generally, right? Or no? So yeah. So if you you would want to if you do arsenal the max velocity, which I don't advise, so I would rather arsenal like one of the 0 drops. And then you would draw 3, so ideally you would draw like another 0 to 60 and a 1 drop and a blue. And then you would, so usually when I pull it off, it looks something like you have a 0 to 60 in arsenal, and then your hand would look something like, So we've got a 0 to 60 in Arsenal, a Zipper, a 0.
And then the mats, and then you just need a blue.
Any blue.
Yeah, we'll just...
Cool. And I'll put this on the screen, folks.
So usually how these turns look is you would play this from Arsenal.
So zero from Arsenal.
Boosting, this would tip down, you would gain a resource, which you would then use to play this.
Play a Zipper.
And then as soon as any of these hit, you pop the vest.
Right.
And there's your 2 floating, so put this over here to pitch.
Sure.
Then you can follow up with any, it doesn't matter at this point because you're coming in for 10 after this.
Right.
So you boost that, and then...
because max velocity doesn't care about hit, just boosts. Yeah.
Right. And yeah, you don't have to worry about breaking the combat chain with it. And then you can, usually if you're running the Goliath Gauntlet, this is when you would pop it. And that's usually, yeah, something like that.
That's a pretty big turn. Yeah, fair enough.
But the only way I've been able to consistently, and it has been fairly consistent, is if you can Arsenal one of these and then draw at least, two zeros and 1 0, the 1 cost, and something to pitch. So I would have pitched that, sorry.
Yeah, understood.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Well, I think that'll about wrap it up. Anything else you want to throw out there about tips, tricks, or traps?
So one thing is Oldhim is not a good matchup. That's why I elected to use the vest. Just because if you telegraph your play by popping their cross trap, they're just going to pitch ice, and then whatever you're going to play is now probably on the top of your deck. You will notice looking at this list that I haven't played in real life against Boltyn, but I only have 4 non-attack actions in here. So Boltyn might be a little bit of a rough matchup for you, because he would, when you defend with an attack action, it gets the boost, and then he can do his thing. The good thing in that matchup is he does need time to, you need to pitch, play, charge. So he's a little bit of a slower deck, but it could get a little, I haven't tested it against that. That's one, thing that sits out to me, was that there's only 4 non-attack actions in here. So against Boltyn,
and he's card intensive anyway, so you're just racing him at that point, right? So
right, yeah. In Blitz, it's probably not a problem, but yeah.
Yeah. Okay, great. Well, thanks a lot for joining tonight. I may hit you up for some questions to make the image overlays, but
sure.
Yeah. Anything else you want to say before we get out of here?
I will. Yeah, I don't have anything to say. I think you just said it all. Go Dash, go Mech. I think, especially to the newer players, this is a very easy deck to pilot. It's very cheap to pick up. I think there's maybe we can do the stats, but there's only like 8 or 9, only like 10 cards above the common level, I think. So Hyperdriver is a common, the Pistol is a token, Vest is free, is also a token. So yeah, if you're on the fence about Fab and you want to jump in but you don't want to burn your wallet, this is definitely the deck for you, I think.
Nice. Good. Well, everyone, thank you very much. Again, like I said, coming to you from Gange Games. Sorry about the rain in the background. It's freaking pouring outside right now, so hopefully that's not coming through, but if it is, thanks for hanging out with us anyway. Yeah, thank you very much for joining.
Thank you
so again, this was Matthew Fritz. It's Alligator Zero on the Discords for all you cool kids. And so hit him up if you have any questions. You can hit us up. We get in touch. If nothing else, folks, go Commando.
Go Commando.